Hi, this is Kirk with Forex Strategy Secrets. We're going to be talking about some of the uses of the Norwood strategy scanner. But the thing I want to talk about is it's good for trading your larger time frames of the week down to the 1 minute, if you like trading the week. The day would be an example that I'm going to use, that if you find the trend on a day and want to trade the day, the 4 hour and the 1 hour, then you just have to have bigger stops. And then you can go down to the 5 minute and the 1 minute, and you may be trading the opposite direction that you would if you were trading the day. But that's because the day can move hundreds of pips, where on the 5 minute, it moves like 50 pips in just a few minutes, where the day chart is going to move 150 pips. So it can be used for the larger time frames as well as the smaller time frames. So what you'd use is the larger time frames for is mainly to find a direction. You may not want to trade them necessarily, but find the direction and do your timing of your entries. You may take a trade on a larger time frame, and then you're going to have a big drawdown because it wasn't timed right, even though the momentum was still there, and it will eventually come back in your direction. So use it as a finding the trend. I'm going to click on the 4 hour, for example, as a larger time frame. You can use the day if you'd like, but I'm going to use the 4 hour as an example of a direction of a trend. Now, the larger the time frame, the less accurate do you have to be as far as being everything on the right side. You can say right here, this signal is an early bird filter. Early bird male filter. That's an early bird filter. That's on a 4 hour time frame. That's heads up. And then you can go to the 1 hour and say, well, do I want to take that? You could decide, what do I need to have happen before I want to take it? Do I want all these indicators to be on the correct side of that zero line, or do I just need some of them? And that's what you have to decide. But that confirms that that's the direction it's going. But let's say you wanted to time it on the 15 minute. Now the 15 minute is below. It's right on the border of being above or below. Is below, and so it's below the moving average. And then there was a good move that took place. The direction was the 4 hour, and we just look for an early bird filter. Here's a picture of the dashboard, and we have many choices that you can set up. So you can say, okay, I know that after this end of this 4 hour bar, the price had been down lower than where it opened, and so that's a momentum switch. And so if this opens and changes colors, then you can say you're looking ahead. This is a male filter, male, and the filter change colors. You can early bird filter. So you go down here in the list, and we have an early bird filter. EBF, early bird filter. You just click on the 4 hour, and we are on the pound CAD, for example. So you click on the pound CAD, and that's when you want on the 4 hour. And you go back to this one, and you want to take that off. We don't want to click plus, we just want it on that one currency pair, and then we would click save. So when you get an early bird filter at that point, then that's heads up to go look for a timing on an entry on a smaller time frame. That's how you use the larger time frame. It's heads up to find directions, and you have the scanner as a tool to do that. Now we talked about the male filter. Let's go down and see where that strategy is and what to look for there. So you have filter line cross, male filter. So you just read in the instruction, what's the videos, it'll tell you what these all are. There's the male filter. If you wanted that as your heads up, you click it on that particular currency pair. You don't want to set all of these on every currency pair, otherwise you just get so many signals that you get frustrated and you miss half of them. Now that's a larger time frame. Going to a 1 hour, 30 or 15 minute, possibly a time your entry. But let's take a 5 minute as your larger time frame. Now on the 5 minute, I possibly want to have a 4 bar, and I want all the indicators to be on the same side of the zero line. If I'm going short, I want them to be below. If I'm going long, I want them to be above. And so that means you're trading the direction of the trend in this 5 minute. Now from here to there was only, well, that was a big move. That was 100 pips. But let's just say you took this one, and they're all below right here. So you started right there. That was a 40 pip move. That was still a nice move. But let's go to the 1 minute and time that. See, the 1 minute, you may say, well, it's not ready. I'm going to wait one more minute, and there's a 5 pip move. It did come back against you, 5 pips, but then the move happened. Or you can say, I want to wait until it's fresh. Now I talk about fresh. This is not fresh right here on this 1 minute. Fresh is right here where it first crosses, right there or right there. That's when all of them are the same color at the same side of the zero line, and that would be a place to enter, and then you can take a small trade there or a small trade there. So we've done the same concept using the same tool to trade long-term and short-term. So you notice I suggested possibly setting it on specific pairs, a pair that you might be watching. Maybe you're anticipating news going off on a certain pair, and you wait for the setup to happen on the pair. The way that it's programmed now is that you need to have the scanner on one trading platform and be trading on a separate platform. And that's because the programmer, he had it fixed, and then he changed something else, and then the problem that was before came back. And he's off on another project, and he said he won't be able to work for us for many months. And so we have to put up with that, and that's the reason we suggest 2 different platforms. I have the other platform minimized. It's open, but as all I see from it is the scanner. This is what your dashboard looks like. This is on my other screen, and it's program. If I were trading on the other screen, then it would always be right there. And these boxes up here is what you would check to set things. It's this box right here, the little screen that brings up what you want to do. This is the history of the scans that I've been receiving that I have it set. Here's an early bird filter 4 hour right there. You click on that box, and this is what pops up. Here's the little icon of the symbol settings, and you have currency pairs, and you have more currency pairs than this. That's all I wanted to trade. And you can see that we have some specific strategies, but we have a lot of tools for heads up. You can say, okay, when this happens, I want to be notified of it. Okay, one thing that you want to be aware of in any of the trading of our system is color changes, crossing zero lines. This line in the center before it goes above or below, call that the zero line. And that's what happens in the market when things are taking place. Notice that right here, this indicator went below the zero line. It stayed below the zero line, clear over to here. So from this distance right in that rough area over to about that area, this indicator was below. Notice what this one did. It was only below there, went above, came back below, went above, came back below. This one up and down as well. So you can say, well, what happens when I get all of them going the same direction and the same side of the zero line? This one's almost there, but look what happens. That's where your big moves take place. Run a 1 minute chart. Let's move up to maybe a 15-minute chart. I'm going to move this line over right there. on this 15-minute chart, that gives you a good solid direction as to how you should be trading. That's the direction. So that could be your larger time frame. Everything is on the correct side of the zero line. Now, at that one point right there, let's go see what it looks like on the 30-minute. They're all the same color, but this was not on the zero line, but it's got a lot of momentum change going. So possibly that could be a heads up. Let's look at the 1 hour. Okay, the 1 hour still has a lot of information saying it's going short. This was a fresh color change. These all were the same color change, and this was still above the zero line. So you can see there was a good move in there. Now let's go back on this larger time frame. There's 1 hour. Right there, all the same color, all the same side of the zero line. Let's look at a 30-minute. See, you would have to wait another half an hour before that one was set up. So let's make that the next mark. The 15-minute. Okay, it hit everything the same color at the same place the 30-minute hit. Let's go to the 5-minute. The 5-minute, well, we had to wait another 5 minutes before that was the same color. Now, let's go to the 1 minute and see if we wanted to time our entry on this 1 minute. The 1 minute, to get it, make sure that it's a good entry. All the same color, all the same side of the zero line, and you had all these other time frames setting up this move. So if you're patient, there's a little short move there, and you can say, well, I'm going to let it ride a little bit. From that vertical line, I'm going to go back to the 5-minute. This went to 50 pips. Notice this indicator, it's the slowest moving one, so it takes a while to get it to change. And right here, see, they were all the same color, same side of the zero line. After that retracement, that was a point that you could enter again for another nice trade. So that's how you can use the larger time frames and time things moving from lower to higher. It's called salting your trade. Search all lower time frames or search all larger time frames. And many times you want to do that above and below on both directions on each trade you may want to take if you unless you're just scalping. So what I was getting to is you can have two platforms. You can actually have two sets with the scanner on, if you would like, on the same computer. You have the scanner can be attached to as many different platforms as you want on one computer. You have access to attach it to two computers. You have the scanner just doing the searching, and you have two trading platforms, or one a long-term platform, the other one a short-term platform. That way you won't be getting mixed up on your orders. And maybe change the background color so you know which one that you're doing. So the main things I wanted to cover today are the scanner can be used on a long-term or short-term. You can pick the 1 hour can be a long-term time frame. The 5-minute can be a long-term time frame, and trade in that direction. So let's take this concept now. I'm going to take the 1 hour as the larger time frame, and I'm going to go to a different currency pair. Let's take this one, and it's choppy over here. But what we're looking for, you want the direction of the trend when all the indicators are on the correct side of the zero line and the correct color. That would be your larger time frame that we're looking at. And then I'm going to move this other line right here. All the same color, same side. Well, see, that was late because they've been going for a while. Become familiar with what is going to be fresh. 4-bar fresh cross. Remember fresh cross? This is a very critical indicator right here. When the filter is fresh, just crossing that zero line, and it's a 4-bar, the others don't have to necessarily be on the same side to give you a heads up. So we're going to look at these two going short, going back long. This may have been a news announcement time, but that's on the 1 hour. Let's just go down to the 15-minute. Okay, it's going to be a while before this one even came close to setting up. Right there, and then we say we want to use the 5-minute to enter on. 5-minute was okay right there, or if you wanted them all to be below, it would have been a couple of time frames later, and then there's a nice little trade for you. Okay, now let's go back up to this 1 hour and look at it going in the long direction. 15-minute, it wasn't quite ready. See, this just barely turned the buy color right at the end, and so this is not correct. So this would be your first signal right here, where they were all the same color, and there was the signal on the 15-minute, and you can go here to time it on the 5. See that they're all on the right side, and there's your move. So let's just look at little subtle changes on the bigger time frames. See, it doesn't have to be exact to give you direction. Just the momentum is what you're looking for, and you can time that entry on the smaller time frames, going short and then going long a few hours later. So you can go to forexstrategysecrets.com. That's the website. If you're at this meeting, you have been here at one point in time throughout the time you've been with us. Then you just log in, but you can, to get the scanner subscription, $100 a month, you click on this box right here, and then that's where you can order it, and you can cancel it anytime. Or if you want to learn more about it, you can just click on the icon, the box, watch a video, you can read information about the scanner and how it works, and there's a lot of information there. And there's a 14-day trial. You get one shot at the 14-day trial. So if you didn't take advantage of it, the next time you have to buy it. Subscribe to it, I should say. If it's a tool that you will spend, I suggest that if you attend the PIP Club as often as you can and subscribe to the scanner for at least 2 months and really learn how to use it, then it can be a valuable tool. The 14-day trial is only to see if you like this type of trading. You're not going to be proficient at it. You won't know whether it works or not for you. You can see what the potential is on a 14-day trial. 2 months, then you really have an idea as to whether this is going to be a tool that will work for you. But you can go there to take the trial or subscribe to it. What does the color change on the filter indicate? Okay, these indicators we're using, anything you see in red and blue or red and black, they're all momentum indicators. This is the filter, and it's the most sensitive. So when the color changes, you notice that it changed before the others. So when a color changes on the filter, let's just take a look at this right in this example right here. It went across a zero line. That's very important. When the color changes go in the opposite direction, what happened to the trade? It was almost over. That was a quick trade. Let's look at this little trade going down right here. When it changed colors going the other direction, yes, it did a spike down, went back up, but the main trade was right in that area. That would tell you maybe the trade is getting close to being over. So the color change means the momentum is changing. And when you have all of them changed from red going short to blue going long, that means the market has something caused it to change. In this case, it was probably a news announcement.